So basically, Saddurday hosted a fraud or fashion contest recently, and I kind of figured I would personally judge the contestants' entries because I thought some of their ratings were kind of interesting. So what I'll do is I'll give a rating out of 10, and in the end show how close I was to their rating. Starting things off with the Aloofist, I'm giving this guy a solid 8 out of 10. It's really clean. The shield could be a little bit better, and also not a huge fan of the headgear. Large Lad, unfortunately gonna have to give you like a 4 or 3 out of 10. Just because your weapon doesn't match at all, your armor doesn't really match either, and the only really occurring theme that you have going there is the black. I'm also not a huge fan of the symbols you put all over. So this is by submission, so it's probably gonna be a little biased, but I'd probably give mine around a 7 out of 10. The default ornament is kind of a bummer. The head is also a little off, just doesn't look right. The rest is all really clean though, and the weapon definitely matches. Social group for the socially inept, whatever that name is. Anyways, your Centurion looks pretty good. I think the only issues you have with it is that your arms are not good. I would have changed those arms. Also, your weapon does not match your armor. I'd probably give a solid 6.5 out of 10. Mostly because I'm not a huge fan of the pink. Moving on to Agreal, I'd probably have to give this one a 5, probably, just because I feel like it's really clean, but it feels a little plain. And you definitely have more options that you can choose from. Ludex, I'm gonna have to give you a 3. I'm sorry, but the armor just does not work. The lion skin does not match with your scheme that you've got going there. Nice ornament, but the weapon is also quite plain. Gucci Centipede, your gladiator looks like it came out of a dumpster with a bunch of parts that you found. You're like, yo, this is gonna look really, really nice. Yeah, I don't really know what you were going for. It's not bad, but it's not very great. I'd say probably like 4.5, 4-ish. Godly, that's a really, really solid warden. I'm a huge fan of that weapon you've got there. Mostly clean, a little bit dirty, but it all works out. You've got a nice color scheme as well. I'm giving an 8 out of 10. But please tell me why you left your emblem on the back of your warden. The FinalOreo, I'm actually a really big fan of the green and black color scheme you've got going on there. The armor really works quite well. Your weapon's actually quite nice. There's a bit of gold on there, which is a bit unfortunate, but your patterns need to change. The cape one is good, but the patterns just need to change on the front and the sides and everything. It doesn't work. Overall, I think I'd probably give this one like a 6 maybe out of 10, but I would definitely see this being a 10 out of 10 if you just change a few things. Toga from Discord. Okay, you've got a bronze-ish, reddish plate with a golden weapon and a pink and purple color scheme. What are you even going for? Now I'm sorry, but this is just flat out awful. This is a 2 out of 10. Although it is clean, I really just it doesn't work. Wolf of Will, your Lawbringer is actually not a terrible idea. You got the ocean vibe and everything going on. You got some decent, ideas with that. The only problem I have with it is that your weapon head is literally nothing close to what your full Lawbringer is, and that's very confusing to me. Also, the ocean vibe from like your paint patterns, they just feel kind of too dirty. If you would fix that, maybe make it a little cleaner, then I would probably give this higher rating. My rating would be 3 out of 10. Known Prince, you've actually got a really clean looking griffin. I'm a fan of it. The only problem I have, I think, is that your weapon is not matching at all. I would give this a solid 7.5-ish out of 10. Infected, your weapon does not match, and also I'm not a huge fan of the armor color scheme that you got going there. 5 out of 10. Killjacker 4, your Centurion was posted more as a realistic thing, which is what I saw when you had originally posted it. You definitely hit that mark. However, I do have to say that it is a little plain, which is kind of understandable if you're going for more realistic. However, it is quite clean, so I'll give it that. I'd say it's also probably a 5 out of 10, maybe even a 5.5. Demus, however you pronounce that name, really clean armor set. I'm a big fan of the silver actually. Weapon is matching as well. Unfortunately, your standards are green and black, so that kind of ruins the whole thing. If the standards weren't there, I'd probably give it like an 8 or a 7.5, but with those standards, definitely a 5. Aqua with the yellow warmonger. I'm a big fan of yellow myself. Unfortunately, your front is a bit black and plain. You've got nice golden shoes, so the armor is probably the right one. The weapons also does not match, it's mostly just black. However, if you're going for a more filled yellow front, then I would have definitely gone with that weapon. However, you're not. The cape is also something I would have changed probably. The painting on it is definitely not the cleanest. Overall, I'd probably give this a 6 out of 10. Touched with the reddish Centurion. If that were me making that Centurion, I would probably change the arms or the chest plate, one of the two, because it doesn't look quite right to me. It's not bad though. I'd probably give it more if it were a cleaner chest plate as well, and I would probably give this 7. Geofry, I'm sorry, but this gladiator is literally just default armor sets with color here and there. And you've got, I see on your right leg, you've got a reddish diamond thing or whatever. Yeah, there's no color on this, and it's basically just a basic gladiator outfit. And then on the back, you have like a massive sun thing, and it just doesn't work, man. It's too dirty. I'm giving this a 2. Haha, get it? Too dirty, too, okay. On to RendStung. I'm a pretty big fan of the green with what you did. I would definitely have changed the paint patterns though, because some of them don't work. Also, it's kind of unfortunate, but the headgear is not matching any of the rest of the armor, and maybe the weapons could be changed, but that's debatable. Also, your legs, your paint patterns on those need to change. I'm probably giving this like a 5.5 as well. Spiteful Pinecone. Now that, my guys, is what we call fashion. That is a clean conquer. That is what we like to see. Unfortunately, his shield is a little bit bronze, so it kind of ruins it, but I can't really complain too much, honestly. Really good job. I'm giving this a solid 9.5 out of 10. Explorer, I would have picked a different paint pattern for this. Your color scheme is not bad. It's just the paint pattern kind of ruins it. I don't know, it doesn't look right. Also, your weapon handle is golden, whereas anything else is not golden. Also, I find it looks really, really dirty in my opinion. It just isn't my style. And also, please, people, stop putting random decals on the back and fronts and anywhere on your characters. They look bad. Please stop. This is a 3 out of 10 for me, sorry. A break and run. Okay, honestly, I'm more surprised at the fact that he got 37 score for this. This is literally just a piece of armor with blue and removed blue from the chest piece, and whatever standard those are. It's like brown and red. I don't understand. This is literally just a basic lawbringer, and is ranked 37 points. No sense. This is ridiculous, dude. I'm rating this like -1 or something. Not actually gonna rate it -1, but like this is just like almost no work to me. Even though this is probably a high-level lawbringer. The most points I can give for this is the fact that it's clean. I'm giving this like 2. You know what? I'll give this a 4. Just because it's clean. SCP, you made that work really well. Actually, I'm a really big fan of your whole color selection and everything. Your weapon, unfortunately, does not really work with your armor because you've got some blue on there and mostly silver, where you don't really have any of two of those colors on your armor. Pretty good though. I would give it like a 7 maybe. PapaBlitzTV, something just doesn't look right about it. I feel like it's kind of just too messy. Also, I think what I would have done to make it look better is just fix the black on your armor and make it like clean black by changing the color scheme entirely, and it would also fix those standards where it'd be uniform with the rest of it. I would also remove that decal that you have on your standard and maybe change the weapon head, although I could see that it's not very easy to change because I would remove the gold from it. The gold is not really anywhere else on your armor. Apart from that, I would give it like a 3.5. It's just too dirty for me, and there's just so much more potential to be had. Wholain, this is also a pretty clean conquer. However, it is a little bit worse than the previous one because on this one he's got white strands and it just doesn't work as well because you've got multiple colors instead of just gold and maybe another one in another color. Here he's got like 4 colors ish, and it doesn't really match with the brown that he's got on the top and the middle of his armor that's not colored. Apart from that, it's pretty clean and pretty solid. I give this a 7.5. Boshaka 0. Okay, the only problem I have with this Centurion is the fact that he picked such a weird color. The color just does not look that great on Centurion. The rest looks actually pretty good because he's got the gold weapon with the gold outlines and everything. It kind of works. You really just change the color. I'm not a huge fan of the color. Although, if he were to change the color, I don't know if I would give him really anything higher than a 7 because I feel like it's very plain and simple, and it's not like super amazing or wow factor, so I'd probably just give this like a 7. However, I will admit that that decal on the back is the only time where a decal is actually kind of nice looking. I'll give him that. Rajang, I think that's how you say that. Again with the weird color. I don't know why people like this color. I'm not a huge fan of it. I mean, it's clean and everything, but yeah, I don't know how I feel about it. The weapon also could be a little different. It's a little plain. The standards part is the only part that I could think of maybe changing. The rest is pretty much all about color preference. Again, I don't think I could see this going higher than a 6.5 maybe, so yeah, just 6.5. Again, with the really ridiculous decal in the back ruining half of it. Meximan, your weapon does not match your outfit at all. If you had gone for something that matched your weapon a lot more, that would have looked a lot better. Again, it's a pinkish, reddish kind of tone. I don't know how I feel about that. You've got also white and a top ornament that's white. I don't know how I feel about that again. The armor is fine, I think. Just think you could have got your colors a bit better. It's not bad though. I'd give this like 6. It's Plague. Now that PK is pretty clean, I'll give you that. That's a really nice and clean PK. The white and the gold work really well on that. You've got a nice piece of armor. I really like it. I'm giving this an 8.5. QueenZerk, it's almost exactly like the previous PK, just slightly worse I find, so honestly not much to say here, just 7.5. A worse version of the previous PK. Ragna, now that's a really nice and clean warden. You really used that gold piece on the armor really well. That matched with the weapon that you have. I really like that. It's very clean with the white as well. Nice ornament choice as well. I have to compliment that. Definitely 9.5. I'm really a huge fan of that BP actually. The only issues I have with it is I think your paint patterns could have been a little different on some of them, like the standards. I would also change the shield that you have there. It's a little weird. It doesn't really work with the whole vibe you have going there. Also, if you can, possibly change the red on your standard. Apart from that, it's a really nice look you got there. I'd give this a solid 9 out of 10. Tonix, yeah, man, I just can't. This does not belong in the top 4, alright? He does not deserve 42 points. He does not deserve that at all. That's not... I mean, the chest piece needs to change, alright? And that ornament does not even match the armor set. Are you kidding me, dude? Like, it's an orange ornament. And I mean, it's just way too dirty for me. Like, this is a 3. Honestly, at this point, this is kind of a joke. Why wouldn't you just put the basic Lawbringer instead of that one? I mean, they're basically the same, aren't they? Except that one of them is clean and the other one is dirty. Finally, at number 3, we have Jiffy. It's not bad actually. I'm a pretty big fan of the red. It's pretty clean as well. So honestly, there's not many big complaints. I'd just give this one like an 8.5. So at number 2, so you remember the previous PK? You know, the PK that was like kind of good but not really up there? That's why I give it a worse score than 10 out of 10. Yeah, this dude's nailed it. This is why we don't give full 10 out of 10s to the other ones. This is a full 10 out of 10. This is what he deserves. This is very, very clean, and he's got the right amount of colors in there. He's got like 3 colors in there. That's all you need to make a perfect outfit. That's just beautiful, beautiful. This 10 out of 10. And lastly, we have their number 1 that was picked out of a tie apparently. I would have definitely given the PK this win, not this guy. The reason why they gave him this win was because he had gone with the bull theme apparently. Yeah, I don't know why you would pick a winner because they picked a bull theme, but he's got the gold, the blue. He's got a bit too many color variants for me though, like the brown. It shouldn't be there. I understand you can't necessarily do anything about it, but it's a little bit too dirty for my liking as well. So I would give it like a 9, maybe an 8.5. Also, I think the skin tone could have been white because the white would have matched more with the gold.